That's, as Lockie Neal said, that might be the best win I've ever been involved in. My God. How good was that?
So good. So good. Unbelievable. They had no right.
Zero right.
They had no right.
Huge win. Just hoping it's not their grand final performance, if you know what I mean. But, geez. I have a question for you, and I'm like, okay, how can I kind of relate this back to equine terms? Because after all, we are a horse racing podcast.
Uh-huh.
If we were to compare one Marcus Ashcroft to one of the great stallions of all time at the moment, because he's got a couple of young sons, Will Ashcroft being one.
Yeah.
And he's got Levi coming next year. Who's
a sire of sires?
Because Marcus is right up there in the football landscape.
Well, there's a horse by the name of Schnitzel. He's produced some good ones. I'm Invincible has produced some good ones.
I was even thinking, like, say, a Justify or a like a Frankel type.
Yeah.
A generational talent.
Yeah. We need to study that man's semen. I'll tell you what, the little swimmers in there got some kick, don't they?
Because Marcus himself, I think he was a 300-game player for the Bears and the Lions. So he was a threat himself.
And didn't he end on the third grand final win? Wasn't that his last game?
Only one of that premiership era to do it.
How good's that?
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I might call it quits.
Yeah, 3's fine.
Yeah, 3 will do me.
Yeah. And Lynchy and the crew just got a bit greedy. Hey, they still made a grand final. Bloody hard to make.
Yeah. 4 grand finals in a row is wild.
Yeah, very, very wild. So, yeah, unbelievable effort. Joe Danaher looks like he's loving his football.
Yeah. For him, it's just a job. Yeah. But he was enjoying himself last night.
When he kicked that.
He absorbed that pressure.
That one from about the third row, 50 metres out, that's arguably the hardest kick in football.
For a lefty as well,
My God. Unbelievable. And you saw Cam Rayner and Lockie Neal going like, bro, let us kick it. Because we're bright footers. Like, you can't kick this. I think he shocked everyone in the stadium. Yeah. I think he shocked himself.
Yeah. And off the boot, it was always going in.
Like, pured it. Like Dom Sheed style in the 2018 grand final.
Yeah, absolutely. Same sort of kick.
Yeah. Huge. But, yeah, so good. I did hear during the broadcast, and we won't harp on about it. We had the scarves on and everything. But the Lions' first 4 goals took 110 kicks to get those first 4 goals. The next 5 came in 18 kicks. That's a hectic stat.
That is a hectic stat. God, they just turned it on. And to be fair, GWS capitulated under the pressure as well.
Well, it's nice to see another team capitulate instead of us.
Yeah, very true.
Oh, my God.
Who'd go for GWS, though? Weird.
Oh, there was more Lions supporters than GWS supporters there last night.
Yeah.
In that shithole.
Yeah.
Like, disappointing to see that it wasn't, like, packed out. And it's just, I don't know, if GWS go through, like, a Richmond kind of, like, capitulation down the bottom of the ladder, like, I find it really difficult to see them, like, have that long-term success where they could really turn it around.
And it makes it even more bizarre why the AFL, like, you see, like, Tasmania coming in, right? It's why wasn't that
200,000 members?
Yeah,
I think it was because Tasmania aren't really built for AFL yet. Like, but in saying that, 200,000 members there. Hawthorn have 10,000 Tasmanian members. That was I think 10 years ago when they were winning flags, so it could even be more, maybe it's less. North Melbourne have a really good relationship with Tassie down there, so I don't know what it means for those 2 clubs. But I think they're building a new stadium down there, which is desperately needed for footy down there.
Yeah, Blundstone's a bit cooked.
Yeah, but, and, you know, it was about 2010, 2011 when GWS came into the comp.
Do you reckon they'll call it Ricky Ponting Stadium?
Isn't there one down there already?
Is there? I was joking.
Or maybe a grandstand.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Punter.
Yeah. It'd be, I reckon if they have the new one, there'll be, who would it be? Alistair Lynch is one of the great Tasmanians. Guess he didn't really do much down there, though.
No.
He was just born there. Whereas Ricky, he plied his trade.
He plied his trade. He really gave back to the community.
Will one be the fuck I'm horny grandstand for Tim Payne?
What are the different grandstands be called? Screenshot, text message, horny. Tim Payne horny. There was someone who was horny yesterday. A horse,
linebacker, and he didn't worry him.
No.
He said he was a bit of a dude.
Yeah. By all reports, he's a bit of a dude.
Well, I don't know who was saying. Maybe.
There's a lot of cults in that race, linebacker.
Yeah,
what are you interested in, mate?
Maybe you saw Stormboy. He's like, "G'day, mate. How are you going?"
if he swings that way, swings that way. Who are we to judge?
Yeah. What does Bob Catter say?
Let 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland. Bob, you can't just vehemently steer in a different direction like that mid conversation. I tell you
what a weird roller coaster of a day yesterday was.
It really was. You know,
it had it all. It had swinging penises around it. had the second best comeback in AFL finals history by our team, which was really good to see.
Do you reckon the autumn sun was watching linebacker yesterday with a tear just rolling down his face? His penis is broken and linebackers are just swinging in the breeze in all its glory. So funny.
And then there was hail at Flemington.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell?
I don't know. Some podcast during the week was saying that Flemington was going to be a good fall. We got that horrifically wrong.
I think a lot of people did though. I think they didn't recalibrate the forecast until like Thursday or Friday.
And it was cold.
It was cold. Very cold. But you know what? Overall, I'd say, we were kicking winning horses home by day and kicking the winning score by night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could say that.
I reckon.
Yeah, but the Makybe Diva, prior to Jenny, was enormous.
Enormous.
Conditions, it was hard to make ground when it got down to heavy 9. So I think it was probably set up for her to run well, but I reckon she probably wins the race if it's a soft 6 or better.
Yeah, she ran absolutely super. She looked gone coming into the straight. Her stride wasn't as confident as what it typically is, but that'd just be the deck.
Yeah.
But Mr. Brightside
set up to win the race.
And he did. To his credit, he's gone as good as ever.
Last time he was on a heavy deck, he won his second Doncaster.
Yeah, right.
So,
bro loves it.
He was easy, and we were texting each other ferociously throughout the day.
Yeah. Ferocious texting.
Yeah, but Brightside, I was like, oh, this sets up so well for him now.
It does, yeah.
I guess like the biggest talking point out of the race is Via Sistina and Cox Market. And tell you
Cox Markets.
Been a lot of penis jokes so far. Yeah, Cox Plate Markets.
Haven't looked at it.
I think we've talked about this more over the last 12 months. I feel like it's been more pronounced over the last 12 months. The reactivity, both sides. It's like
when a horse wins, when a horse loses. Yeah.
In reflection, and we'll get to Jolly Star as well, but we're saying after she beat up on our Kobe son, we said she could win the Everest and the Golden Eagle.
She still can.
She still can, but in isolation, that looks like a pretty outlandish and wild statement. Prior to Jenny, she's gone for the prep after, she was beaten by 6 lengths, but then she puts in one good performance there, and then she's back on the, in the winner's circle or the talking point of being competitive in a Cox Plate. Then Via Sistina was super first up. Second up was flat. And then she's all of a sudden you're getting about $8 or $9 in a Cox Plate for her.
Yeah, take that price now, drifters. Oh, don't write her off. That was a weird day. I think you can put a line through a lot of horses' performances. Considering that it hailed at Flemington during the day, drifters just a weird race. Like nothing really made ground. Antino jumped well.
First 3 out, first 3 home.
Yeah.
Warmonger was super.
Warmonger was super. Would have been nice if you ran into the money.
Fuck.
But some drifters listen to us and put on a same race multi with the good people at Ned's.
Well done.
Brightside to win, Warmonger top 4.
Huge.
No, that would have been paying well. Maybe $9, $10.
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to check their Nets profile to find out.
Yeah.
But that's well done. There is some things about Via Sistina though. So her RaceNet profile, and what I'm learning about RaceNet is you can't take it 100% to be accurate. But on the whole, for Australian form, I think it's really good. But what it says is that she's actually never been left-handed in her career. But Rory Flanagan on Twitter, UK form analyst, she's gone 4 times left-handed and she's never won. So potentially she doesn't get on that leg as well as her Sydney leg. But I think what I'm hoping is the Turnbull is a good track and we'll figure it out then to see, if she's a proposition in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, the Turnbull's a tricky race though because it set weights and penalties. Remember Romantic Warrior had to lug extra weight?
She doesn't need to win it. She just needs to run super.
She doesn't need to win it, but it's a tough betting race, I find, the Turnbull. I remember Smoke and Romans won it.
Yeah.
Gold Trip won it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a good horse. So look, Cox Plate's going to be fascinating. I think you'll find some real value in the Cox Plate market leading into it. I still think, and I think this about the Everest, I think these 3-year-olds are phenomenal.
I agree. Growing Empire proved that.
Yeah. He's a very good horse. Very good colt.
It's like
professional.
It's like he heard... Who was that horse behind him? First Settler. It's like he heard First Settler or even just like kind of sensed that he was on his hind quarter. He's like, all right, bruh.
Catcher.
That was so impressive.
It was an impressive win.
And he's done it on the good and he's done it on a soft 7.
He's done it down the straight.
Yeah, which about the ground... they were interviewing Chris Waller after Chrysaor, whose name was definitely mentioned on this podcast by yours truly, at $18, not the 26s that was on offer. He did say that Chrysaor didn't handle heavy ground or soft ground. And he said, well, this is probably the best conditions that you'd ever hope to get. Flemington's kind of not surprising, though. Yeah. So it's like, if he was to get heavier ground than that, but all of his racing's probably going to be... He'll be in a Coolmore, so at worst he'll probably get very similar conditions to that. And then an Everest, maybe, if you get like a Red Zell kind of heavy 10 situation at Everest, but we'll kind of find out by that stage.
In terms of...
If he can handle it or not.
Growing Empire?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
You take it on face value that he can.
Yeah. Well, exactly, until they don't.
Yeah.
You just sort of see how you go. But yeah, he was super impressive. He's the best winner of the day for me, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the authority. And I'd say, from that, head to an Everest and he's proven down the straight. This Coolmore stud stakes on Derby Day is going to be an absolute ripper, particularly with that run to the Rose in mind as well. He was enormous.
Yeah, so I guess talking about the run to the Rose, Traffic Warden, he was good for me, good for this podcast. Him and Stormboy gave a bit of weight to the rest of these as well.
He was a top weight.
Yeah.
Traffic Warden, I think with him, based on that win, everything he did as a 2-year-old was just a bonus. I think he's a 3-year-old colt. Oh, gee whiz. He won with some authority and surely an Everest.
Oh, you'd say so. Golden Rose into an Everest.
Is Broadside going into the Golden Rose first up?
Yep.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
He's a Cox Plate horse though.
Yeah, well, he's going to go...
He's doing
Rose,
the Animo.
Golden Rose, Caulfield Guineas into a Cox Plate.
Yeah. He's doing an Animo except
that's a pretty elite prep.
Yeah. Animo won the run to the Rose.
Yeah.
Hello? What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well found by you. And there was a couple of great results in Sydney for the pod. A couple of close results for the victim in Flemington at some serious value.
Mate, there was value galore all over the shop, but we will get to that. So
we're gonna talk about it, drifters. Like, we're gonna pump up our own tires.
So the run to the Rose, Stormboy misses the start. Second last out, as Darren Flindell says. You said that Hippo panicked a little bit. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. Well, absolutely he did. He would have been given instructions, or, based on the last win, lead at all costs. He missed his start in the slipper, and Ryan Moore, probably the best jockey in the world, did the exact same thing. Just used up too much petrol to get to the front, or to try and find a better position. So he's done that to himself twice, Stormboy, which is costly. I would have ridden him cold and just see if he could finish off really well. Because you don't want a one-trick pony. He just needs to lead and dominate a race.
Especially if he comes from the back and runs into second or third. Like, that's not the worst thing.
You'd rather him come third doing that as opposed to what he did yesterday and needing to lead and then fading. Because then you're sort of thinking to yourself, well, if this guy doesn't lead and if he doesn't jump well, he can't win.
One-dimensional.
Yeah, one-dimensional. You don't want that. But that's the stable. That's the horse. Hippo's great on a leader. So, I would forgive that of Stormboy. Like, you're going to get a better price for him now in his next start. Did I dive into the $2 yesterday or the sub $2 that he started at? Absolutely not. I was on Switzerland.
Ooh, yuck.
Which was yuck.
Yeah, nothing in the stewards report for him either.
Yeah, bizarre.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what happened there with him. Like, I think Coolmore's Everest slot's kind of all of a sudden going like, ugh.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Absolutely.
Because I think you can, after that run yesterday, I think you can put a line through a Cox plate for Stormboy. Surely.
Oh, you'd have to. Yeah. Well, he's got to bounce back. He's got to win. He's got to win a Golden Rose or run super in a Golden Rose to justify going to a Caulfield Guineas, mate.
Well, isn't it a week back up? I remember Ole Kirk did that.
Golden Rose into a Caulfield Guineas.
Yeah.
Typically, it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
Typically, it can change year to year though, depending on the scheduling. Okay. But I remember Militarize won the Golden Rose and then came down to a Caulfield Guineas.
2 weeks, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, fascinating. That Golden Rose is going to be unbelievable.
Well, that market. Let's have a look here. I think TRAFFIC WARDEN has come in awfully short. So he's $4.50 now. Broadsiding's a $4 favourite.
Okay.
I'll probably be taking him on first up.
I would love to see him win first up, but I think if he's going to get beat, it's going to be first up over 1,400 metres against these Colts who they want that for their CV. Yeah. He doesn't need that for his CV.
No. Stormboy 5. So Stormboy beaten a length. Like he held on pretty well. I think I was a bit reactionary after the race. I wasn't on him. I was just like, it's another big race that he's kind of failed in. I think he ran okay, beaten a length.
Anything that starts a race sub $2 and doesn't win is disappointing. Because there would have been a lot of punters truckloading into Stormboy yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as he missed a jump, you're tearing up your ticket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Underwood ran well.
I don't think he'll be beating TRAFFIC WARDEN in a Golden Rose though.
No, and linebacker ran well considering he had 5 legs.
He had the pogo stick.
Yeah. But no, I think out of that race, TRAFFIC WARDEN is he's a stud, isn't he?
Yes.
So well found by you.
So broadsiding 4s, TRAFFIC WARDEN 450, Stormboy 5s, linebacker 11s, Autumn Glow 13s, unlikely to go there. A Node and Emirate 15s. Daggers and Gatsby's 21s. High Octane, Lady Shenandoah, Manal at 20. Oh, should we go on fly stakes? Mayfair, Private Life, Prost, The Blade, $26. So I think it's definitely like at the tippy top of that market is where the quality is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. How long until the Everest?
The Everest is... Let's have a look here. Everest is the 19th of October, same day as Caulfield Cup Day.
So it's a month away. Okay, interesting. So Golden Rose in 2 weeks. There'll be Everest runners coming out of that race. That's for sure, depending on the results.
Yeah, well, yeah, there'd have to be. Interesting. I think one horse that put her Everest credentials firmly on the table was Sunshine in Paris. Mm-hmm. Very well found by the Sydney source.
Oh yes, very well found by the source. Look, she was upon reflection a phenomenal price.
Yeah.
What? Just sub $4, maybe $3.80.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal price. Well found, and I tell you what, the key to her is a dry track, because she ran in the autumn. She was running on bog decks, and she was running super, all things considered.
Yep.
She didn't like it.
No.
It's so lightly raced.
Yep. She would have beaten Silent Star in the midway by 6 lengths, probably close to 7 lengths, and she would have beaten Traffic Warden and those colts by about 3. So she brained them.
She did, and it was a truly run race by the looks of it.
By Bjorn's thing.
Yeah, ran super.
Yeah, ran great.
Ran super. That's when you back Bjorn, when he doesn't have a short price favourite in the race. Yeah, you back his roughie that throws some caution to the wind. Jolly Star?
I thought she was great.
Yeah.
Sure, she jumped well, came back. Bit of the second up syndrome, but I was looking at the sectionals of the race. I reckon she's run really well. And I think just because she, as you kind of said about Stormboy, she was, what, $1.80?
Yeah.
So the expectation is that she wins more often than she doesn't.
Yeah.
And you put that aside, and it's easier when you back the winner. But she ran home a 32.94 last 600.
That's quick, yeah.
Like, that's pretty good. Lady Sunshine in Paris, 32.78. So she's not that far, like 0.16.
Yeah, and I think what cost Jolly Star, she was too far back.
She went forward, but again, if your target for this prep is an Everest or a Golden Eagle, whatever it is,
you're not going to bust her up.
You don't want her facing the breeze 3 wide on what was a pretty hot speed. I think what Kieran did was the right move.
Yeah.
Bigger fish to fry.
Bigger fish to fry. I'd be shocked if she's not running in an Everest. I would be absolutely shocked. She deserves to be there, and that's a forgive. But did I dive into the sub $2? No, I didn't. Because it was too short, mate. Did I bet on Sunshine in Paris, though? Nah. didn't bet at all on the race.
That's fine.
So it kept me powder dry.
Yeah. But yeah, Sunshine in Paris going, her next start is an Everest, which I love because she's shown that some of her best runs in the galaxy, she runs so well fresh.
Oh, we were on that day, weren't we? And she should have won.
And at enormous odds.
Yeah.
I think got her at $26 in futures markets, and she just got pipped by Zapateo.
God.
Get fucked.
Sometimes we're good. Tell you what, so what, she been locked in by John Camilleri?
Oh, yeah, mate, they'll get announced this week, I'd imagine. And it's, she probably would have been competitive in the race last year if she didn't go miss. So, super return. Great training performance by Annabelle Neesham, especially considering...
And Rob Archibald.
My apologies.
Especially considering...
Her coat, Lizzie Gel saw her and she's like, there is so much improvement to come for this horse. So her coat was all woolly.
And Lizzie's a good judge.
She is. So, yeah, you'd love to see that. That was a super performance.
Exciting.
Yep.
Exciting.
You were on Lady Shenandoah in what was a very tough race.
I was.
It's $5 a field, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to pick the eyes out of this one.
Yeah, I was, for some reason, confident in her.
Bullish.
Yeah. I think, do you know what? I think it was those silks. Literally just saw those silks. I was like, yeah, some of that for me. The market liked her, though.
Schnitzel Philly?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, you can rely on them. I tell you what, though, she hit the front. She was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Lucky she hit it the front so late.
Yeah. So Jay Ford, wouldn't say he's up there with the top jocks in Sydney, but that was a terrific ride.
as Jay said, I'm just warming the seat for J-Mac. He said that.
Is that what he said?
He said that in the post race.
You might be my favourite jockey now, Jay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Second after Nash, obviously. My apologies.
Kieran gave Snack Bar a hell of a ride.
Yeah, loomed up.
Tell you what, Kieran is hot at the moment.
He's hot.
He is riding.
He's not Nash hot.
No,
but he's riding super.
Yeah.
Particularly considering he bloody broke a vertebrae.
I know
this year.
Because at that point he was riding just as well, if not better. So that his confidence has not taken any hits.
Full credit to you, Karen, because I thought you were gone about 12 months ago.
I know.
And I was potting you every other week, and rightly so. You were riding dross, mate. But to your credit, you really turned that around.
Mayfair, I thought had all favours to win that race, and because that colt, did he finish second to Stormboy in the lead up? Let me just check here. Yeah, he did. Like, that's Stormboy brained him by 3 lengths, and then and my opinion of that horse was like something had to run second that day. And it's like,
I know what you mean.
It's like, and then it's like, so I wasn't keen on him as like the $4.80 favourite here.
Some placings are worth a lot more than others.
Yeah.
And that second placing to Stormboy was worth absolutely nothing.
But Snack Bar, I don't know. Do you know much about the Frosteds?
No, but he's a USA Godolphin shuttle stallion.
Yeah, because I'm wondering,
grey horse, obviously.
Yeah, I'm wondering like how far they can get out to, because I'm trying to place. I'm like, what does the future hold for this 3-year-old gelding? I'm like, is he going to be just rolling it around in a Metropolitan next year or something? You know, it's like, is he just going to be like one of those Godolphin middle distance horses that ranges from 16 to 2400?
Is he going to come up here for the Winter Carnival at 20-1 and win one of those races?
Yeah. I don't know what the fate for this horse is.
Yeah, but we'll follow Snack Bar closely.
Yeah. And he's only an early season 3-year-old. Like, I just don't think he's a star. You know what I mean?
No. But he's not a bad horse.
And typical Godolphin style, they get into Melbourne, they get into Sydney, they basically send him anywhere. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw this horse at Newcastle one day.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
So
I think we'll see him up here in the Sunshine State at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Good. Well, speaking of Metrop, there was a winner at Rose Hill yesterday over 2,400 metres. Matusalem.
Yes. Very nice win. Given a super steer by Kieran.
Yeah.
There was a runaway leader in there, Capaldino, for Waterhouse Bot, that kind of set up the race perfectly.
Yes.
For Matusalem. But I think what it probably... I'd have to go through the horse's profile, but what I'd suggest is that this horse probably does better when there's a bit of speed on.
Yeah. He's by the Autumn Sun. Matusalem. Another one. But what we're seeing is he's producing progeny that like to get out over a trip, which is phenomenal. And so I hope once his penis is fixed, I hope he's serving a lot of mares, because the staying stocks just get propped up, which is good.
So Redoubt's Choice, his daddy.
Yeah.
The Autumn Sun's daddy, that is. Give me a bit of like a 2-line summary of like what his progeny usually do. Like, obviously outside of TAS. Do they do everything?
Everything.
Like Frankel, basically.
Yeah, like So You Think is a little bit now.
Yeah, okay.
So, for example, Lincoln Rupee, who was probably Mick Price's best sprinter, multiple Group 1s gelding, he was by Redoubt's Choice.
Yeah, okay.
And then on the other side of the coin, you got the
TAS.
Autumn Sun.
Yeah, right.
A classic winner.
Yeah, right. So a licorice all sorts Redoubts.
A real licorice all sorts, which is what you want. Which is what you want from your sire.
You know who's throwing up like a middle distance horse every now and then now is Schnitzel as well.
Yeah, well, Seamus Awards by Schnitzel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he won a Cox Plate and produced Incentivize.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, the breeding game is funny, isn't it?
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Very fascinating.
That's where all the money is. Any other significant winners in Sydney before we...
In Sydney, Encap.
Never was going to back that horse.
No. I think it was a very good setup. I think that's when he kind of wins the race, wins this prep. And, he runs in the Quinella more often than not. But he, 54 kilos, barrier 6. It's set up very, very well for him. Redina was a nice return. 3 wide, facing the breeze, only beaten 1.5 lengths off a very long layoff at 30-1. So, for self-interest, I'm happy that he's back. But, it was a really nice run. And this is not me trying to find positives out of my pocket talk. But Tannhauser was super, mate. He smashed the clock. He broke 33 seconds last 600.
Did he?
Yeah. So he's what did he run? He ran a 32.89. That's
what the hell?
Yeah, he's come back. He's a different horse this post-gelding operation.
Is he a potential Metrop horse?
So
he's a 4-year-old now, isn't he?
Yeah. So he is nommed for the Caulfield Cup. That's a bridge too far. I don't know if I want to back him next start because he'll probably be at 1,400, which will be better. If it's like a 1,400 10-horse field, I'm interested. I reckon third up around the mile, maybe fourth up 2,000 metres, that type of operation, I reckon he'll be winning.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Market loved him late.
Yeah.
He came into 40-1.
It's still a big price.
It is, but when he was 80-1 after the podcast, it's significant.
That is significant. Celestial Legend.
He was good, but his last 600 was 33.2 as at a comparison. So
bigger fish to fry, and that was just a kicking off point for him. But I still thought, despite the weight and 1,300 metres not his jam, I still thought that he'd probably win that race.
He gets better into it.
He does.
Golden Eagle. Pardon me. I think Golden Eagle is his target.
I'd love to see him out over 2,000 metres, but
cash speaks, right?
Maybe in a Queen Elizabeth in the autumn.
Especially when you won 2 Group 1s against as a 3-year-old. So it's you may as well kind of go up against the same lot for what?
A lot of money.
11 million. Makes sense to me. Okay. A Striker was a nice winner in the last.
Yes.
Yeah. Ran very, very nicely. But I think that's pretty much everything. Unusual Legacy was a nice winner in Benchmark 88 earlier in the day.
Yep.
But that's all she wrote in Sydney. Going back to Melbourne, Point King, the King, booked his Melbourne Cup ticket.
Yes, well found on the podcast. Well found by the victim. Great ride by Jamie.
Yep. Just punching the breeze. He'll start 20 or 30-1 in the Cup.
Yep.
But, he's got his ticket. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. Look, if he ran in that race and won like that on Derby Day, you can guarantee that he'd be running top 10 in the Cup. At a probably decent Mick price.
Yeah, I would have thought so. So, he was a nice result.
There's a couple of close seconds in there.
Oh, God.
First up, Headwall.
Yeah. Well,
20-1.
Let's go through the card, hey? So, yeah, Moby Dick was a nice return. I saw some comparisons to I'm Thunderstruck for that horse.
Well, remember he went down as a very short price favourite in Bendigo, I believe.
Probably came too soon for him.
Yeah. But he's a Mick Price, Michael Kent Jr. horse, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they like going down the same paths for their horses. So if I get up Racing Australia, I'll have a look to see if he's if they put a nom in for something like a 2-rack.
Yeah.
What's his name? Moby Dick.
Is he a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old?
He's a 4-year-old. Big Dick. Big Moby. The whale. What? Noms, Wade's acceptances. Golden Eagle, they've got a nom in for.
He's a 4-year-old.
Yep.
Fascinating.
By Tornado.
Okay. Tornado is one of those sires that can produce a mixture. Masked Crusader was by Tornado as an example.
Same silks.
Irish stallion, I believe.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. God, I thought I was so much better than everyone else.
Well, mate, if you
20 to 1 on the podcast.
If you got a 20 to 1 pop over the line early, that would have been sensational.
Yeah.
Dawn service then franked the Autumn Glow form.
Yep.
Very nicely.
Great ride by Blake Shin.
Yeah, huge ride. Winning by a length. Daggers, half bro to Muramasa. Muramasa, he looks at wet ground and he
hates wet ground.
He goes into his tortoise shell. So
he does.
I wouldn't.
Is he like his half brother?
He could be.
Yeah.
The
money came for him late as well.
Yeah, which I didn't understand. I thought there would have been, because I saw that, I'm like, no, I'm staying out.
Yeah, well, I was on him, but at like $3.50. That's a price you're happy to take.
Yeah.
And I think he jumped to $2.70. What the hell?
Capped on Teves was, these Kiwis, they do it every single, every spring, every autumn. They just bring one over and it'll win at double figures. And you go like, why didn't I just have a look at that thing?
They're not going to bring over one they didn't think was a winning chance.
And so you might know this or you might not. But so it's like they almost have like a few different silk options, Tiaka. Like that one, those silks that she was wearing yesterday was they were the Melody Bell silks with the white sash that she wore in the Empire Rose. But Melody Bell didn't wear them every start.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I was like, I haven't seen them for a while. Anyway,
yeah, actually,
but that was a nice win by Bellatrix Star. Bold Bastille, she had a better setup there, and it was the stable were unsure of how she would run on a wet track, but I think she more or less ticked that box.
Yeah, I think so.
Better suited to 1,000 meters though.
Absolutely.
Our girl drifting was dross.
She was dross. Anything in the stewards report for her?
Apparently an EIPH, according to loyal listener Marcus Williams. So not ideal from her perspective. So
she loomed up.
She did. I thought she was just going to zoom past them, but alas, she definitely didn't. Growing Empire we talked about. Point King we talked about. Christ Sayor we mentioned. Just great ride by Froggy. Just kind of loomed up and went, see you later.
Yeah, another second for the victim. But yeah, look, we spoke about Cross Sayor on the podcast. 23 to 1.
Yeah, what else do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Commiserations to Al Safina backers, including myself. She ran third at 7 to 1.
The plunge didn't land.
No, and I think by this was I think just after the hail fell, so it was hard to make ground for the rest of the Flemington card.
Yeah, and look, it wasn't good that my best of the day was in this race. And do you know what I did wrong? Johnny Allen had one ride in Flemington yesterday.
Really?
And it was on running by.
Wow.
Which was my best of the day, and that was the mistake I made. He's so out of form, Johnny.
But hey, we've seen, because I wouldn't put John in the champion category.
No, but he's got about probably 20 Group 1s.
Exactly. He's a bloody good jockey.
He is, absolutely.
And it can turn like that.
It can, absolutely. We were talking about Karen just before.
Look at Brent Pebble.
Yes, Brent Pebble.
Like, it turns pretty quick.
It does.
All you need is one really good one and some connections that back in. So,
yes.
So, yeah, Gringsinger Bell, nice front running win, but I'll kind of push that to the side. Warmonger is probably the one that you want to follow out of the Makybe Diva. Arkansas kid, you're kidding.
I thought I was so much better. Mate, 15 to 1 during the week, Skybird.
Yeah, that was madness.
And only just went down. And I blame Right to Party. Fucking weak-gutted dog, John McNeil. Checked her as she was just building up her revs. If she built up her revs slightly more, she only lost by 0.06 lengths.
Yeah, I know. It's tight.
I thought I was so much better. And I was at the Brecky Creek with a lot of partners. It was going off like a cut snake. Unbelievable. Told every man and his dog who would listen, which is probably not many people. get on Skybird. She's a ridiculous price in this race. I would have been so much better.
Oh, well.
But I reckon she's a smart filly, Skybird. Just with that racing style, it's just going to be tricky for her.
Yeah, I don't know what do you take her to an Empire Rose or something?
I don't know if she's a miler. I think she's a 1,400 metre horse. She's a 4-year-old. Maybe a Golden Eagle.
Yeah.
Actually, she wouldn't look out of place in a Toorak as a lightly weighted mare. Mitch Friedman, the trainer, no relation to the Friedmans. He won the Toorak last year with attrition, and unfortunately he was scratched from the Golden Eagle, and he was going to start at like 30s, which I thought was absurd.
It was.
So he might do the same thing with Skybird.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she's a smart filly.
Yeah, she's good. Buenos Noches, he looked gone. Like he looked
He looked gone.
He looked gone, and then he just was like, all right, let's go. And he finished off really nice, but I think he's just it's tough because I feel for the connections for this horse because he's shown so much talent, and it's like you just want that Group 1 win or just like a massive peak performance, then you bang, your stud fees are done. But I reckon what this horse could have been if he was gelded for basically his 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and now 5-year-old season, I reckon he would be so much better.
Absolutely.
He just has a think about it. You can tell. He didn't want to load.
No.
His coat was glowing. He looked so good. He looked sensational.
They do, the stallions, mate. They're a phenomenal beast. It's a shame, but I couldn't ever back Buenos Noches. I never have. I don't think I have. For that reason, he just has a think about it. He has a Joe Pride think about it.
And then open handicap to win the last, and Barclay Square wins it. Sounds about right?
Yeah, just of course he did.
Yeah,
of course he did.
Yep.
That horse owes me a significant amount of money.
Next week we have the Underwood, and there's no Alligator Blood, who's won the last 2 rolling around. So
that's a shame.
Faulkner Park, Brightside, Pericles, Place du Carousel, $5 equal favourites. Pericles, I think this is his first grand final of the prep. So we run super here, then heading to an Epsom. Has to.
She should have won last year. God. This spring is weirdly setting up to be similar to last year. The lines are alive. Pericles heading toward an Epsom, should be heading towards an Epsom handicap, and maybe doesn't. Weird.
St. George, $11. Bit short for him.
I think so. But he's a very good looking stallion. Speaking of them, so yeah, fascinating. The Underwood's wait for age, isn't it?
I believe so. Difficult little race. Because it's a weird market at the moment. Poptronic at 12s. Pride Jenny won't be going there. Antino won't be going there. A Tissue potentially could go there, $15, but she was pretty dross. Buckaroo at 15s. Chill Wolf, fresh off a benchmark 100 win. Royal Champion at 17s. I hope we see him kick off.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where that horse is at.
Is he more of a Caulfield Cup horse or a Cox Plate horse?
He's a Cox Plate horse, but I don't think he'll be... I think it would come too soon for him, surely. But in the... is this where Without a Fight kicked off last year? Or was that... that was the Turnbull.
Oh.
I think it was the Turnbull.
No, I think Without a Fight kicked off in the Underwood.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And he ran like a nice 4th, maybe? 5th?
5th, yeah.
But it was a slashing return.
Yeah, it's what you wanted to see.
And do you know what was on the wall? Writing.
Yeah. Love that horse.
First up into a Melbourne Cup. Sheesh.
Oh, imagine if he wins it.
Couldn't possibly have any of mine on him.
He'll be in. If we had betting strategies, he'd be in mine. Out of respect.
Speaking of betting strategies, quaddies unfortunately didn't pay off yesterday, Drifters, but we were close.
3 from 4 in Sydney.
Yep.
On a tough day, getting the favourites rolled. Encap ruined it, of course.
Of course.
Melbourne, if we knew the hail was coming, we wouldn't have put one on.
Yeah. But alas.
That's all right. Tipping comp update?
Tipping comp update, yeah, Drifters. There'll be a website live this week, and we'll probably have the link, I'd imagine, on all our socials. Free entry for the tipping comp. You're gonna win. You can win $1,000. So the website, you'll need to sign up. It'll have all the rules on there. You just need to put in your name and your email address so that we can send out the tipping comp each and every week. It'll just be via SurveyMonkey. It'll be very straightforward.
Yes. Looking forward to that.
Yep. Literally 6 weeks of power, Drifters. You know, you'll just have to put in your bets each week. You'll select from a drop-down menu. It'll be really easy. And it's free entry, so send it to as many of your mates as you want.
Yes.
The more, the merrier.
So if you like back in the $2 favourite, you know, that's fine. But if you put any tip in that is the Ned's starting price of double figures, has to be the Ned's fixed SP, and it's double figures, you get double points. Only for winners, though.
Only for winners, because we don't give a shit about placings. No. But it's 3-2-1, so 3 points for a winner, 2 points for second, 1 point for third.
Yep.
As Hutcho just said, if it's double figures with the Ned starting price and you pick it and it wins, you get 6 points.
Yeah, simple as that. So that will be live this week.
Yep. So you can start signing up. And the first group one's not until the Manikato Stakes, which is the 27th. So still a couple of weeks away. So plenty of time. But yeah, free throw at the stumps. Why not for $1,000? Winner takes all.
Why wouldn't you?
That's the currency we trade in. Winners.
Couple of listener questions to finish things off. I can't believe we did not address this. Can you say Bustling has an injury, therefore take another horse for the Everest? Nothing in the stewards report for Bustling. You were spot on.
It's nice to be right about something for once. I didn't think he was a terrible horse. I just don't think he's very good.
Up to this grade.
No.
Yeah.
If he starts on Everest, he'll be 50-1. I just don't think he's that good. I thought it was bizarre. They purchased him for a 7-figure sum, mate.
Who did?
The connections who brought him across.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yuck. Like, 4 wins and a second from 5 starts in WA means nothing on the East Coast, mate. It means nothing.
Al Safina was the comparison. WA
yes.
There. And she's right. She's so consistent over there, right? I think she's missed the trifecta like once or twice in her career. She ran third, beaten 4 lengths, albeit not an ideal setup, like hard to make ground. It's another one not in the win column as well. You know what I mean?
Like, what currency do we trade in? Winners. I thought it was bizarre.
And
to that question though, like maybe you do.
Maybe. And I guess like the other thing is the market, like they had an entree of Stormboy a few weeks ago. They went to the main course. They're like, "Oh, this is so delectable. This is so delicious. Let me bring that price right down."
Yep.
They had a look at Bustling and they're like, "Oh, is this dish off? Is this display stock?" Because they tasted him and they spat him out. $8 he started.
He was $5 when the markets opened. Maybe even sub that. If I was pricing the market
in my market on my stuff,
I reckon he was probably a 15 to 20-1 shot
in that race.
Yeah.
All I knew yesterday,
but I couldn't believe it.
That was, yeah.
That's why I took such a stand. I could not believe it.
Yeah, that's a big call. But
after the fact.
You were proven right? I guess like that's where we kind of trade. Is like we kind of look at these shorties, and if they win, so be it. It'll probably be not with ours on, but we kind of like to look at the ones that's like, look, Sunshine Paris is a
perfect
great
example.
She's $3.80 on the day. I would probably be interested if she was like $3 anyway. So it's
absolutely.
Like, all right, I'm gonna have a bet at that price.
Absolutely.
So at the 4s drifting out to 8s, I still wasn't interested. In fact, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, gross.
Get this away. So, whereas you look at what that market did, Stormboy was coming in. He was sub $2 and Traffic Warden was rock solid at 8. So I'm like, I love to see that. So it's, that's where.
That's enough market support at that price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big Red has said.
Big Red!
Just a statement from the big one. Pride of Jenny won't win this prep. Thumbs up.
He said that to me before she resumed. He said Pride of Jenny will not win this prep.
Interesting.
And I was like, I think she might jag one. But he's right so far. So well done, Big Red.
Yeah.
I think there was a statement in there as well from a Jess Mitchell.
Yeah, there was. So not a question, but can you please pass on a massive thank you to the Victorian Victim and Sydney Source for your tipping today. Has great value on the punt with plenty of value picks. Don't know how that snuck in there, but that was, you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll have to give them a call and say thanks.
Yep, I tell you what, they're paying their way, the Source and the Victim.
Well, the Source needed it. I reckon that was
a bit of a dry spell for the Source.
It was, but that's okay. These things happen. But yeah, 3 out of 10 on a tough day.
3 out of 10 with one rolling Jolly Star and the other one rolling Storm Boy,
and then
that's worth double.
And then an $8 winner in the last. Like in what the traders were saying was the toughest race of the day.
All right. Let us bask in this, drifters. It doesn't happen very often.
No, it won't. Underwood next week, back at Caulfield. I'm sure there'll be good undercard racing as well.
Yeah, I hope there's some value again.
Yeah. But yeah, tipping comp, it'll be up this week. Sign up. Your chance to win at least $1,000 in cold hard cash and other prizes.
I will post on Instagram when the website is live. So it'll be before our Wednesday podcast, that's for sure.
Easy. Go Lions. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Chee-hoo.